Welcome back to Midco Sports Tonight alongside Marty Mueller. I'm Alex Heinert. Time for water cooler talk. There is a blizzard raging outside. This water cooler not frozen.
Not yet.
Water flowing. Everything's good up here in Grand Forks, North Dakota. Hockey obviously going on in full swing. North Dakota coming off a split against the University of Nebraska Omaha this past weekend at the Ralph. Two very different games, Marty. A 4-1 win for the Mavs on Friday, a 7-0 shutout win for UND on Saturday. What did you make of this past weekend for UND?
I think you just make that, if you don't come with your A game right away, it's really, really hard to win in the NCHC. Omaha showed up ready to play in a tough environment, and they get the better of them on Friday night. I think UND got away from their game a little bit. They tried to play this rough and tough Omaha style of hockey, and it didn't work real well. And then you see what happens on Saturday when they play UND hockey, and they take the W there.
Bradbury made a number of changes from Game 1 to Game 2, took out Cam Johnson, who didn't play poorly in the 4-1 defeat on Friday, but inserted Peter Tomey for the first time since November. The freshman pitches a shutout, albeit he had a lot of help from his defense in front of him, but made the saves he needed to. Also took out two freshmen in Colin Adams and Grant Mismatch from the forward lines that had been contributing to their top scorers this season. Sometimes you got to make bold moves, though, to shake the roster up a little bit.
You do, and I think that it starts with the goaltending move. Whether it was Cam Johnson's fault or not, I think changing a goaltender just gets everybody's attention. It just says, okay, hey, we need to wake up. And that's exactly what they did. And then you move those two freshmen out and bring in some guys with a little bit more experience. I think it shows what happens when you get guys that are just used to playing and know that this is important. We have to play right now.
How much fun was it to see those goals come in on Saturday?
It was just one after the other. You couldn't really sit down. It's a lot of fun to see that kind of hockey from UND.
7-0 North Dakota. It's the fourth time in the last 6 games against UNO they've scored 6 or more goals. Just ridiculous sometimes when those two get together. The other 2 times, though, of course, they scored 1 between the 2 games. They were shut out last year and then lost 4-1 on Game 1. We talk about the offense. This is a team in North Dakota, when they score, they don't lose. They've only lost 6 games all season. In those 6 games, they've scored exactly 1 goal each time out. They are unbeaten, though, when they score 2 or more. Is it as simple as that? Hey, just get the puck in the back of the net and good things are going to happen.
It's funny how that works, right? You score goals and you win games, but when you got to have
it's not rocket science.
No, it's really not. You just get to find a little bit more consistency, and that's maybe putting some of these veteran guys together that have played with each other over the years to find that consistency. Who knows? Lately, over the last couple of years, it's been freshmen or young guys scoring that have really put this team over the top. They don't have a guy like that this year, so maybe it does come down to some senior leadership or some veteran leaders that can give you some consistency in the goal scoring department.
Yeah, a number of those veterans now tied atop the goals pace with 6. Only 6 goals for the season is what's leading North Dakota in that category. I believe that this time last year, Shane Gersich was leading the way with about 15, so they're well off the pace. Yeah. But the goals are coming in bunches, as we saw on Saturday, and now this team is 11-6-5 on the season. They're tied for first in the conference, by the way, with St. Cloud State. But now they dip back into the non-conference for a little bit. A Bemidji State team with an identical record, home-and-home series unique where they'll spend Friday. You'll spend Friday in Bemidji, and then come back on Saturday for a big game at 7 o'clock at the Ralph Live here on Midco Sports Network. How big is this series for this team?
It's huge. Yeah, the non-conference is always really big, especially when you don't play very many games. The pairwise is so important. You see it every year that it comes down to just a couple of games here and there that can make a huge difference. So it's a big series. It's a fun series though too. That's almost never get to play a game where you get to jump on a bus one night and play back-to-back days at different arenas. So that's pretty cool. You'll have fans traveling back and forth between both. It's a lot of fun, and Bemidji always plays really tough, both here and there. So it could be interesting.
Yeah, UND got the sweep over the Beavers last year here at home, both though 1-goal games. And Bemidji State's got one of the best goaltenders in the country in Michael Bitzer, the reigning WCHA Player of the Year. There's a lot of talent on that Beaver team. So even though you think, Bemidji State, they're right now currently 4th in the WCHA after winning the league a season ago. But they've gone 9 straight without a loss. They're playing their best hockey of the season right now.
They are, and it comes down to the guy in net, Michael Bitzer. He's so good. And UND has struggled when a goalie is hot at times this year. You saw that this past Friday against Omaha. So if they can put a few up early, maybe they kind of get in his head and rattle him. That'll be a huge key. If not, it could be a knockout kind of drag kind of series, and that's fun too. It is fun to see those games. Obviously, you want to see both teams do well, UND preferably, but It could be an interesting series, both with the home and home.
Yeah, Friday night in Bemidji at the Sanford Center. That seats about 4,500 or so. You'll be there with highlights coming up on Monday's Midco Sports Tonight, then Saturday again live here at the Ralph, 7 o'clock on Midco Sports Network. Let's hear now from head coach Brad Berry, junior forward Rhett Gardner on the series ahead with BSU.
It's hugely important, when you think of, it's not in our standings now, but it's about the pairwise. It's about making sure that you come away with points out of this series to keep you where you're at or to elevate you in the pairwise. Anytime that you take a loss of a non-conference game, it's a step back or drops you in the pairwise. It's a big deal this weekend. It's our final two non-conference games of the year, and it's against a rival.
We're going to see a very similar team in Bemidji next weekend, and going to their rink on Friday is going to be a tough atmosphere, tough place to play, and we just got to, play like we did tonight, honestly, and just be simple and urgent, and I think we'll take care of business.
UND hockey in action against Bemidji in Bemidji and at the Ralph on Friday and Saturday. A couple of UND alums making some waves in the NHL. Big news coming out yesterday that Brock Boeser named to the NHL AllStar Team. Pretty cool honor for a guy that has just ripped it up in his first year in the league. Yeah,
it's pretty special. Again, for a rookie to do it, that's neat in itself. But for a guy that we've come to know here and to see play here, that's really, really cool. He's kind of maybe a perfect storm going on there in Vancouver where the team's not great, but he gets to play with some really veteran guys that have been excellent in the NHL for a long time and learn from them and almost boost their game at the same time. Thomas Mannix having a great year playing alongside Boeser, so it's cool that he gets to learn and really flourish this season. Yeah, Boeser leading all rookies with 22 goals this season, 40 points in 40 games. He had 34 points all of last season at UND. Now, he only played 32 games last year. He was injured for part of the season, but still, it's been unbelievable to see him acclimate so quickly to this level. The speed of the game doesn't seem to faze this kid. No, it doesn't, and his shot has been NHL caliber for a very long time, and you're seeing what happens when he can get put in places where he can let that shot go. It's fine on the back of the net a lot. It's pretty fun to watch. Yeah, Boeser now the 10th UND alum to be an NHL All-Star, which you almost think that number would be bigger, but again, just 10 all-time. It's tough to make the All-Star team. It is. And it's especially difficult now in this format. This will be the third year the NHL's gone to this 3-on-3 4-team tournament, which will take place on Sunday, January 28th, down in Tampa. Place that Brock knows and loves very well after winning a national title down there a couple of years ago. Do you like this format, by the way, this 3-on-3 they've gone to? This format is a lot of fun. I like it pretty much compared to any other All-Star game. It kind of takes the pressure off, right? You're not playing a 60-minute game or a real format game. So it's fun, it's light. You got guys mic'd up and goofing off and wearing costumes. And also, it's a really good time, and it makes for some fun TV. Yeah, Brock Boeser, not the only UND alum having a great season in the NHL. Obviously, Jonathan Toews having another good year. Nick Schmaltz has been really turning it on lately as well. He has, yeah. He's been playing some pretty good minutes there in Chicago and playing alongside Patrick Kane, which that'll help anybody's game, I think. Doesn't hurt too much. Yeah. He was obviously a very talented player here too, so we saw that. Just translating it to the NHL perfectly. Yeah. Other big news also, by the way, speaking of North Dakota graduates, Shea Genoway named today to Team Canada's hockey Olympic team, excuse me. Huge deal for him. Again, I know people have been upset that the NHL is not releasing players to play in the Olympics coming up this February, but if you wanted a case for not sending NHL guys, Shea would be really a guy that was a two-time captain, two-time All-American, but never has quite made it to the NHL. He would be Exhibit A for why this is a good thing. It's perfect and a really special opportunity for a lot of these guys that are making these teams. Guys that are 13, I think, from Canada or from the KHL. So there's talented guys, no doubt about it, but probably would never have an opportunity to play at the Olympic level. Super cool opportunity because of the circumstances. The NHL won't send players. Really cool. Really, really cool for Shea. Yeah, Shea, as you mentioned, a lot of guys coming from that Russian league, guys playing in the AHL are making up the team from Team Canada, from Team USA as well. Some college guys getting the nod on both sides of the border. One college player, though, Kale Makar, who was the 4th overall pick of last year's NHL draft of Colorado, playing currently this year for UMass. Big defenseman who just won a gold medal at the World Juniors for Team Canada. Got invited to play for Team Canada in the Olympics. Chose to decline. Your thoughts on that? It's almost a little bit of a head scratcher. Maybe we'll get some more information as the days come, but you just have to wonder, why not? This might be an only opportunity. He's a very talented player that he very well could make the team later on, but why not? Why not? You have an opportunity now. Maybe there was some pressure from UMass to come back and help their season. I guess you really don't know, but yeah, just won gold at the World Juniors. Why not go? It'd be an awful lot of fun.
It'd be tough to turn down when you get a call from your country. At the same time, though, again, he's a freshman in college. He's missed a month or so at World Juniors. Now he's going to miss another month to go to South Korea. And it's difficult. Just to keep up your eligibility, I would say, would be difficult to miss that much school. So it's one of those things. I get where he's coming from, although at the same time, I mean, you get a chance to play in the Olympics. It's awfully tough to pass up. So cool. Well, hey, that's it for Water Cooler Talk for now. Coming up next on Midco Sports Tonight, more hockey though. Jody Norstead checks in on the outstanding start for the Fargo South girls. Stick around.